Good evening, everybody. This is Butch Popeye Moss with Texas Biker Radio, Sons of Liberty Riders MC. Well, as you've heard, if you've probably already heard, the trials, the biker trials in Waco, uh, end here, in today, in now. As according to Barry Johnson, uh, they are not going to bring any more bikers to trial. The 24 that were left are now free of their nightmare of the hell they've been put through for almost 4 years. It's kind of a bittersweet ending, being as that some of the families of those that were killed, murdered, will never see justice. But as we pointed out all along, Abel Reyna saw nothing but headlines and his next step to the governor's mansion. His vision was skewed by, in my opinion, greed, arrogance. You can probably add a few more things to that. But we think his vision was skewed. It was from the beginning. He was gonna propel himself to the governor's mansion by, in his view, bringing down the banditos. And so that's where it ended at for him. Now, McLennan County has rid itself of what I consider evil. And they've still got a ways to go, because that judicial system is corrupt. Barry Johnson is an honest man. He set the standards high, and he said they spent 75% of their time trying to decide how to wrap this up, who to bring to trial, and whether they had the evidence needed to convict. And it was in his mind they did not have the preponderance of evidence to make any charges stick. As a matter of fact, the charges had been reduced to public riots or something like that. It's absolutely incredible that 9 people died and over 20 wounded. And they say in the Waco Tribune that no one was held accountable, but we differ. We see it differently. Yes, Abel Reyna was held accountable. He has been sent packing, and that was the right choice for the people of McLennan County. It definitely was. And so, the saga ends. It ends. And we spent 4 years, the better part of 4 years, studying every aspect. From day one, when Abel Reyna first opened his mouth, he was full of lies and innuendos. And the dispatches that came out of the DPS, we knew were lies. And that's what propelled Sons of Liberty Riders MC into action. Especially when over 200 people had their constitutional rights violated, and their rights to due process just thrown out the window, just because they could. And many times, just because you can doesn't make it right. And we'd been getting a lot of phone calls lately and a lot of emails from bikers wanting to know what we thought, and we did tell them, and you guys know it, that we felt that the Waco PD did not want to take the stand again, and we felt also that the Cossacks really had the goods on Waco PD. That's the reason there was no effort at all to put any Cossack on trial. Then again, Abel Rayner was fixated on the red and gold. That was his key to higher office. We would like to thank everybody that participated in all our rallies we did in Waco. And we were prepared to do another one. We really thought we'd be back down there again, but as it turns out, it's done. Now, the ramifications from Twin Peaks continues today with what we see going on in our community with the motorcycle profiling, and and they always like to use Twin Peaks as an example, not for themselves, but as an example for the reason that they need to be pulling over bikers and profiling, get them into a database. They will use Twin Peaks to justify in what we consider unconstitutional actions, still vilifying the hell out of everybody. And in a way, the Waco Tribune's final article there today did just that. Because there's plenty of things in that article that were omitted. But it did get to the point that hey, nobody's going to trial. In their view, nobody's held accountable. And it is a sad thing for the families that lost loved ones. And our hearts go out to them. And our hearts go out to the Rodriguez family, Jesse. But understand, our mission is not done. Not as long as bikers' rights are being violated. Wherever that happens, we'll be on the scene, just like we were today in Ellis County. Any place where they say they don't want us, that's where we're going to be. That's where we're going to go. They cannot stop us. They can't stop us from wearing patches. The things are still going forward in our community. We're still working in the state legislature. We're still filing bills. We're still supporting bills. We're still doing the things that we have done for years, for decades. It will not stop. None of these clubs have gone away. None of them are going to go away. Again, want to thank everybody, and especially everybody. Nobody took a plea bargain. When it was out there, when Abel Reyna was yelling for everybody to come, they better come see me, and nobody did. Scooter Bergman had a plea bargain, a sweetheart deal set in front of him. But he couldn't, he just couldn't say he's guilty of something he didn't do. Just couldn't. There were certain stages during this thing where you could see the collapse coming. One of them was that. One of them was Scooter Bergman. The other one was with the trial of Jake Carrizal. Fantastic testimony by Jake Carrizal. It changed the tide. When Abel Reyna used me in one of his political ads, I knew we had him. I knew we had him. The day that Barry Johnson was elected, and I found out that Abel Reyna was working the polls late, I knew we had him. Even Barry Johnson didn't believe he was going to win. When he called me and invited me down to his victory party, he said, "Well, come on down, Mel. We gave it a good shot." I said, "We're going to win this thing. And I'm coming down." And that's exactly what's happened. Exactly what's happened. It was a great time for everybody. And so, the last few whimpers from Abel Reyna was kind of poetic. It's a wounded animal down there now, is what it is. And what we see playing out throughout the state is part of it. Is part of it. They're a wounded animal. The one thing about it is, really the one thing about it is they hate having the light shine back on them. Absolutely incredible. They really hate that. When we first started going down to Twin Peaks, and the media was just regurgitating everything that the law was saying, and especially Sergeant Swanton, who's going to hell, by the way, for bearing false witness against his fellow man. Can you imagine that you want to send hundreds of people to jail that were innocent of any crimes, that they were at a political meeting? And that's what that was that day, a political meeting of the COCI, Region 1. That's really what it was. Was it meant to be what it turned out to be? But then again, there were people instigating, fanning the flames to make it happen. And yes, I've talked to people on the other side that told me, yeah, that's exactly what happened. I say the other side, I'm talking about people on both sides. Their group is, we've had phone calls where people have asked or given information that, hey, this happened, that happened. A lot of it we couldn't verify. We don't know. There's still a lot of things unanswered about Twin Peaks. And we'll never find out. We'll never find out. Number one is because law enforcement doesn't want you to know. They don't want the truth out there. But we'll keep fighting. Just like I said the other day, if we don't fight, we don't win. If we don't win, we're not going to be around very long. We've got to push back, and we've got to shine the light and use truth on our side. And that's basically what we did when we went down there. Just like I was talking about, the media already regurgitating everything that Sergeant Swanton was saying, but we kept going down there, and each time we engaged the media, and each time we'd say, hey, this is wrong, that's wrong, this is wrong, that's wrong, that's a lie. To where they eventually started asking questions about the other side, the law enforcement. You know, and along the way, we probably saved somebody's life, you know, but like the guy that was running with the knife, the black man that was running with a knife, where we're yelling out there, don't kill him, don't kill him. I promise you, if we hadn't have been there, that would have been a different outcome. It's like he said, like the sheriff said, that they don't call it 6-shooter junction for nothing. And I believe that. I believe that. But man, probably the title of tomorrow's radio show will be a little bit different. Mel and I will be discussing the events of today, and we'll be reminiscing about things that happened along the way. And how happy we are that no more bikers are going to trial, especially, you know, when you consider the fact that no more innocent bikers are going to trial. Because that would surely be the case, even in the last 24 bikers that were left up for indictment. The last 24, there were innocent people among them. And for them, I'm happy. I thank the Lord, because he was certainly on our side. You can bet. With that, everybody, this is Butch Popeye Moss. We had a great ride today to Ellis County. Didn't get profiled again. I'll be damned. We stood out there in front of the courthouse there in Waxahachie, and it was kind of interesting. They were coming, the police department was coming out and looking at us. The sheriff's deputies were coming outside and looking at us, and they were they were all staring at us. And it was pretty hilarious. But we had a good time, like we always do. We are always of good spirits, because we know the Lord is on our side, and he's going to take care of us. But at some point, oh yeah, it's going to happen. And they're going to be talking to somebody that knows his rights. This is Butch Popeye Moss coming to you from the Green Dragon Studio in Arlington, Texas. God bless everybody.